So you were just like doing yoga in silence? Like what? Hi everybody, my name is Shayla and I do these videos every Wednesday. This Wednesday, I want to tell you about the refugee crisis here in Greece. I've been here for 2.5 weeks and I finally started. I was going with a friend of a friend to go and teach English, and I got there and their eyes lit up because I was gonna teach them the advanced English. I don't really know how to teach English, but I know English and they needed like the conversational practice. As we were beginning, the people who were leading the organization, wait, who are you? We need you to fill out paperwork and these things before. One thing that they were looking for, which this is like, if this isn't like a calling or whatever, you teach yoga? They're looking for yoga. The women have been asking for yoga. Day one, there's like 6 women who come to yoga, but the space that we have is so small. You know, in like a yoga class, go inhale and you like touch someone's hand and you're like, oh, sorry about that, touched your hand. No, we were like shoulder to shoulder. It was not like sorry about anything. A, there was no space. B, there was no English. So I'm like, kind of just showing them, and I was trying to learn some Arabic so that I could explain it to them. But they want like physical exercise. Like I think they want squats and lunges because they're like, we've got nothing to do. They can't work, just start cooking and eating and like not getting a lot of physical exercise, so they really wanted that. The 6 women there didn't know each other. Just because they're like all refugees doesn't mean that they know each other or even that they're from the same country. Not just Syrian refugees, Afghan refugees, Iranian refugees, refugees from anywhere that are here trying to seek refuge to go somewhere else. After class, one of them invited me to some like Syrian coffee, and this coffee is like nothing I've ever had before. They stir it, it's like an instant coffee, no sugar, no milk, like you have to try the real flavor. At the bottom, it was so thick, and they were like sipping it and just getting it all over their teeth, and they're like, this is the best part. So I'm like drinking it and trying to be very respectful and tell them how much I love it and enjoy it because they love it and enjoy it, and I am just choking on this coffee. So day 2, I go and I get to this place. No women showed up, but there were children there, and I ended up doing a little bit of yoga with the kids. Children are not going to school because all the schools are in Greek. Greece is kind of like the in-between place where they get put into different countries. I know that there's education in the camps, but these kids were not getting any, and it's I think it's pretty common just because it's like a stop off, but it's supposed to be a stop off, but it turns out to be a year. Right from yoga, I went to go teach English to those women who were so excited to have me. I don't have teaching supplies, but I can just talk to you and we can talk about like going to the grocery store and food, really important things that they need to know. She actually gave me a henna tattoo. Apparently this lasts for 2 weeks. So that's neat. She knew English. She just needed to practice English. And that is what I think the biggest takeaway is that these refugees, Syrians specifically, are not poor, uneducated people who are just fleeing their country. I've met people who are going to law school. I've met people who are going to become doctors. I've met people who are teachers and like business owners. What happens is they leave Syria and typically go to Turkey first, try and figure out how to get refuge from Turkey going to different countries. If they can't figure it out, then they take this little dinghy boat, which is like this black market dinghy boat where they pay like $1,000 to $1,500 a person, where they overstock this boat with too many people, which is why they're capsizing, and they have to go across the sea like 7 miles to get into Greece. And then from Greece, now they have to fill out the paperwork again and try and seek refuge, and Greece does all their paperwork, but that can take a year. So then they get sent to these camps where sometimes there's not running water because there's so many people coming in that they don't have all the resources to take care of them. The refugees wait until they hear back if they can go to another country or if they can stay in Greece or if they have to leave, and there's just a lot of waiting that happens. That's kind of what I want you to take away from this refugee situation. Like, imagine you're going to school and have to leave and seek refuge in another country. You can't get a job, you can't go to school. When you generalize an entire group, there's gonna be radicals, there's gonna be like liberals, and there's gonna be the people who are hardworking, there's gonna be the lazy people, and that's just how it is when you have an entire population. When you start breaking it down people to people, which is what you and I are, and you start to see these people face to face and hear their stories and get to know them. And then when I see these 6-month-old babies and I think of baby Bennett, and I just think, just because he was born in where he was versus these babies who have already taken this trek across Turkey and then across the sea where their families spent a lot of money, because they're big families, $1,000 a person, to get across this like 7-mile stretch to hope to be able to seek refuge in these countries. Like, that's why I'm here. I'm here to like show these people that I care, and I've heard their stories, and I'm still here to hear their stories. My camera died, so I'm just gonna finish it on my phone. Every time I sit with any of these refugees, I know that they've been here on this boat, and when I see these children, I literally imagine their little faces bobbing across the sea in this boat to get here, because their family hopes that whatever's at the other side of the sea is going to be better than what they're leaving behind. I'm going to start a GoFundMe this week. If you trust me and you know that I'm going to put the money where it needs to go, thank you. You can start. If you want to wait until I come out with a video explaining exactly what it's going towards, I'm talking to a camp up in the northern area that's working with children that I'll go to probably in about a month, and I'll do a whole video about it. If you know anybody who is interested in this refugee crisis, or like if you've talked to anybody about it recently, please tag them in this video, share this video with them so that I can get to as many people as I can and reach and educate as many people and just kind of give them the inside scoop. I'm happy that they need yoga, and I'm happy that I can provide it, and that I can have this platform so that we can do this together and kind of make money. Just please share it with anybody you've discussed this with. Please like this video and please subscribe. I will talk to you all next week. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks all. Have a good week. Mwah.